What is going on, guys? Reaper here. Another movie recommendation today. And this one was a little bit interesting because I was trying to think of movies that I could do, and I came up with the first one immediately. And the second one I thought about, and I was gonna pick. Well, I'm not gonna say it because I'll probably do it in the next one, but um, I decided to kind of mix it up a little bit. So the first one is gonna be a comedy. The second one is actually gonna be an animated film. And I was kind of debating between two, but there was one that I've recently watched that was actually really good that I had been meaning to get to forever, so I'm gonna go with that one and then probably do the other one eventually. But first movie that I had picked is called Accepted, and this is with Justin Long. Blake Lively is also in it. Essentially, it is Guy Bartleby, and he applies to a bunch of different colleges, doesn't get in anywhere. He gets waitlisted at a few schools, and he just isn't sure college is the right thing for him, but his parents are pressuring him into it, and he just kind of doesn't know what to do because, you know, his parents are disappointed that he didn't get into college. His little sister is academically inclined, and she's already got, college stuff set up, and she's only in, I think, like middle school or high school. I think middle school, because then she asks him for a fake ID later. So, um, yeah, it's a very interesting movie. It's a comedy, so it's got lots of hilarious lines. One specifically that I love the most and that I use all the time whenever talking about sushi. So, after you hear this line, if you watch the movie, you'll probably never view shrimp the same way again. But there's a character named Glenn. He's very funny, and well, actually, there's two great lines, but the main one for me is uh, he he has so many, but I don't want to say them all in or in one go because it's just gonna be annoying. But my favorite line from him most likely, or probably, is he walks up to the college that they set up, and because they just have like an abandoned I think it's a like mental asylum that they set up just to, you know, make it look like they actually had a college that they were going to for their parents. So he pulls up with a wheelbarrow like full of stuff, and then one of the characters named Rory, she's like, "Oh, I had to, I felt bad for him. He got fired from his job at the Quicken Stop or something like that." And then Bartleby's like, "Really? Why did you get fired?" And Glenn's like, "I got fired for making a shrimp slushy." And then Bartleby's like, "Oh, that's disgusting. Why would you do that?" And then Glenn says, "'Cause I was hungry and thirsty." And when I got my wisdom teeth out, I said that like multiple times because I'm not a huge shrimp fan, but I couldn't chew anything, so I thought shrimp slushy was a great line to use. So it has so many more amazing lines. If you don't watch the movie, it is actually on Hulu. If you don't watch it though, you can just Google like Glenn or YouTube Glenn's funniest lines or just accepted funny moments. There's a ton of them, and it's just a really funny movie. Unfortunately, it's one of those films that has not been transferred over to Blu-ray, so I'm stuck with the DVD copy. But first world problems aside, it's still very enjoyable. And if you have Hulu, would definitely recommend it. And the second film that I'm going to talk about is, again, an animated film, Big Hero 6. So this was one that I had wanted to see originally in theaters. I just never got around to it. And it's always... I always hesitate whenever seeing a kid's movie because not really a kid person. And also I don't know, when kids talk in movies, I mean, yeah, they're kids, but also, like, come on. But anyway, uh, Big Hero 6, super awesome. I actually ordered it from Half Price Books because I knew I'd love it. And it did not disappoint. It's cool because it kind of blends two different cultures, sort of. So it's set in a fictional town. It's called San Francisco. So it's essentially San Francisco and Tokyo mixed. And I love that because Tokyo is like, if I'm not a travel person, but if I were to travel, Tokyo would definitely be one of them because I think Japan has really interesting culture. Same with Australia. I'd love to go there because I freaking love accents. But yeah, it's really cool that they made a town or a city rather. They made a city that blends two cultures together, and I think that's really cool, really innovative. I don't think I've ever seen that honestly. I know there's like fake towns. Like I just recently again watched The Mask, and it's like a fake town that's kind of New York, kind of like New Jersey. Like it's a mixture of different places, but this one like even in the name is implied like it's something different. So I think that's really cool. Baymax is one of the freaking like I felt like a child watching this movie, um, because I was just like laughing and giggling at Baymax, just because he's so funny, and I think it's David Cross, if I'm not mistaken, voices him. The guy from well, he's in a lot of different stuff, but he's super funny. Like his delivery is just very deadpan, um, but super cheery, and I just love it. And it's I don't know what Disney like what's gotten into them, but they've I think I read something along the lines, and I don't remember if this was all, but like a lot of movies or at least slasher movies kind of resurfaced after 9/11, and they got a little bit more serious. I don't know if that is accurate or not, or where I read that, but you know, I digress. Uh, but yeah, it's a very serious movie in the beginning. It deals with like family loss, and it's just very serious, and I did not expect it. And uh, I was kind of surprised that they went there with it, but I mean, it doesn't affect the movie in any way, uh, which is very interesting to see them kind of continually deal with this stuff. And I think it's cool because, like films like Inside Out, which I haven't seen unfortunately, that's another one I really want to see. But movies like that deal with these subjects that kids might have to deal with, at the age that these movies are geared towards for. Um, like for example, Up also deals with family loss and like dealing with these losses and stuff like that, and uh, even Finding Dory or Finding Nemo or whatever, dealing with like you know a traumatic experience. And it's just really interesting that a kids movie can have this type of well, and even okay, spoiler alert, I was gonna pick Zootopia as my other pick. It was between Big Hero 6 and Zootopia, but I picked Big Hero 6 just because I figured it was maybe one not as many people have seen, because Zootopia was very popular when it came out. Um, and I'll talk more about that in a future video. But that movie too is very like there's like bullying involved in the beginning. There's rejection. There's family disappointment. Like it's just very interesting topics that these movies go over. And it's funny too that movies geared towards kids can still have an effect on adults, and have a bunch of different in jokes and stuff like that that kids wouldn't understand, that would go right over the heads, but they kind of not pander to parents, but they give them something to enjoy as well. So it's not just like the Emoji Movie or Alvin and the Chipmunks, where like it's very geared towards kids. So it's cool that they do that. Um, but I mean, there's stuff uh, that these movies deal with that are relevant to any age, and if you can sit there and enjoy it, um, even the freaking Lego movies, like I was the last one to think those would be any good or any fun, and I got a digital copy of the Lego movie for free, and I watched it, and it was actually really awesome. And I was surprised at how good it was. It was a little bit on the kids' side, but it was still enjoyable for me. And the Lego Batman movie the same. And one example of, and I guess this isn't really a spoiler because I probably wasn't gonna pick a Lego movie for one of my future recommendations, because they're not for everyone. Especially the Lego Batman movie. If you're not into Batman, then it might go over your head. But in that movie specifically, um, there is a scene where like Alfred is talking about the different Batmans from the eras, and it's like I think it focuses on like the late 80s, early 90s Batmans, and then it goes, and then he's like, oh, and that really crazy one when you had a weird like existential crisis or something like that, and it showed the Adam West character from the TV show. And I thought that was just really funny that movies, geared towards kids include all of these adult references, because, and adult references, and also have these topics that deal with any age. So I think that's really cool that they did that. Did not expect to go on that little tangent for a kids movie, but we went there. So yeah, accepted comedy and Big Hero 6 animated comedy, I guess. Would definitely recommend both of those. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bit extended video and kind of my thoughts on the movies. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Peace out.
Tell me that it's over.